You're listening to the PZinner Network. For more great podcasts, go to pzinner.com.au.
Hello and welcome to Best Left Forgotten, the deliberately uncanon and unofficial Forgotten Realms D&D actual play podcast. My name is Nathan Quadrio, and I am your Dungeon Master.
My name is Miriam Feats, and I play Clarabelle Trollbleeder, the Dwarven Barbarian.
My name is Jess Wolfendale, and I play Flick Gullkind, the Gnome Druid.
Welcome to a very special episode of In Case You'd Forgotten, where we recap the events of Season 2 and bring you up to speed for the crazy loosey-goosey events of Season 3. If you're just joining our podcast for the first time, then take the time to listen to the recap of both Season 1 and Season 2, so you're ready to jump straight in at Episode 1, Season 3, launching January 2024. In case you'd forgotten, Flick Goldkind, the Gnome Druid, and Clarabelle Trollbleeder, the Dwarven Barbarian, reeling from the events of Season 1, made their way to the Neverwinter Wood and met with the Emerald Enclave. It was there, deep in the heart of the Neverwinter Wood, that the girls uncovered the sinister machinations of the Red Wizards of Thay, and spent the rest of the season trying to foil their dangerous plot.
There were many mysteries for the girls to solve this season, and some secrets of their own finally revealed.
Just what were the Red Wizards planning to do in the Neverwinter Wood?
What was the strange affliction slowly turning Flick to stone? And how was it connected to the home that she left behind?
Who was the priestess Rohini, and could the girls trust her to help them save Flick?
Why was the symphony song emerging around the spell plague's magic? And was it all connected to the blue spell orb the girls had been carrying since Season 1?
And since when was Clarabelle engaged to be married?
Their journey took Flick and Clarabelle to many new and strange places this season. The girls journeyed deep into the Neverwinter Wood, where they met with mysterious shadows, a swamp full of the bones of dead trolls, visions of people and places from their past, and a locked door guarded by a red wizard, and where they discovered that a strange magic had begun to turn Flick's left hand to stone.
The duo then travelled north to Sharandar, where the Red Wizards had called them to come through a sending stone Clarabelle had found abandoned at the door in the wood, and where Flick once again reached out to the magic of the spell orb to help them not only escape, but unlock the wizard's strange door.
Flick and Clarabelle stepped through the Red Wizard's door and into the Dread Ring, where they discovered the heart of the wizard's operations, a large, ominous tower and a pit overhung by the corpse of a long-dead dragon.
From the Dread Ring, the girls jumped through a portal, within which they became surrounded by the song of the symphony. The blue spell orb shattered, and Flick and Clarabelle absorbed its power into themselves, and became further plague-changed.
This portal led to a dungeon underneath Helm's Hold that even had a dragon in it. And then up to Helm's Hold itself, where Flick and Clarabelle met with the mysterious healer Priestess Rohini, who promised to heal Flick's stony affliction in exchange for the destruction of the tower in the Dread Ring.
And finally, Flick and Clarabelle arrived at Neverwinter, where they met with the Lord's Alliance, researched the Red Wizards, and discovered their connection to the Dirge of Delzoun, and even befriended an eccentric innkeeper.
The girls met new allies and made friends old and new as they journeyed to foil the Red Wizards' plot.
We saw the return of the druid, Callie Willowboot, who agreed to travel with Flick and Clarabelle in the Neverwinter Wood, though the girls' hiding of the truth about the orb they carried and the wizard's call to Sharandar led to an early parting of the ways. In the Dread Ring, the duo reunited with Woody the Minecart and Eric the Bat-Lord, who saved Flick and Clarabelle from their certain doom when they were thrown out of the Red Wizard's tower. Eric also sent the girls deep into the tunnels of the Dread Ring to destroy a beacon linking the wizard's domain to the Sword Mountains. We also saw the return of Toby Stonehill, who rendezvoused with Flick and Clarabelle as a newly made cloak of the Lord's Alliance. In Neverwinter, the girls made new friends in Lawmaster Cool Cat and Stefan Goldfinch. Cool Cat, the scatter-dat-dat-dat-ding master of the House of Knowledge, helped the girls uncover not only the secrets of the Red Wizards, but the revelation that the Priestess Rohini was not all she seemed, ba-da-ba-bow. Stefan, the owner of the Rat Hollow Inn, gave the girls shelter, and while he held a fondness for Clarabelle that was not reciprocated, proved to be a solid and trustworthy ally, who even gave the duo a key that just might belong to the wizard Mordenkainen. Flick and Clarabelle also made new allies in Autumn Reaver Arnett Greysoother of the Emerald Enclave, and General Sabine Hornraven, a warrior of Neverwinter. Autumn Reaver Greysoother and General Sabine both helped the girls rally the troops needed for their assault on the Dreadring and their showdown with the Red Wizards of Day.
It was not only allies Flick and Clarabelle encountered this season, but enemies, both old and new.
The girls met Valindra, the leader of the Red Wizards and the mastermind of their devious plans, who encountered the girls on their first visit to the Dreadring and threw them from the top of her tower. The symphony returned and continued to haunt Flick and Clarabelle's adventures, towing the line between enemy and strange ally for the girls this season. Their song followed the duo through their endeavors, and while Flick remained mistrustful of its mysterious magic, Clarabelle seemed to be drawn further and further into its melodies. And finally, the girls met their priestess Rohini, a supposed healer for those affected by the spell plague, and certainly a powerful magic user. Though Flick and Clarabelle felt that she was not to be trusted as they discovered she was hiding a decrepit green dragon and a floating dark obelisk in her basement, and seemed just a little too interested in Flick's ever-worsening malady. The girls also later learned of her suspicious alliance with the Lord Neverember, and she may have been a succubus in disguise.
In the final 2 episodes of this season, all of Flick and Clarabelle's efforts to foil the Red Wizard's plans came to a head. In episode 9, Flick and Clarabelle rendezvoused with the Emerald Enclave and the warriors of Neverwinter, including their old friend, Toby Stonehill. Flick and Clarabelle also worked to patch up their friendship with Callie, coming clean about the wizards, Flick turning to stone, their plague-changed states, and Clarabelle's previously hidden engagement to her fiancée, Daisy. With all cards now on the table, both Callie and Toby agreed to join the girls on their journey back to Sharandar to steal the key to the Dreadring. Through stealth, some handy wild shapes, and a hell of a lot of luck, the party was able to work together to steal the key, and a few extra red cloaks, for their assault on the Red Wizards.
In episode 10, Flick and Clarabelle began their final attack on the Dreadring and Valindra's forces. Utilizing Operation Runaway Gnome, Flick and Clarabelle infiltrated the Dreadring and led the Red Wizards to an ambush waiting just outside the door in the wood. In the wake of this initial skirmish, Clarabelle was horrified to discover that Flick had been hiding the extent of her growing illness, and that Flick's body was now nearly entirely made of stone. Flick insisted they continue with the plan, and the girls returned to the Dreadring and planted explosives in Valindra's tower that they discovered was lined with the chained bodies of hundreds of Red Wizards. However, the destruction of the tower was not the victory the girls anticipated. Instead, the explosion released a wave of energy that Valindra used to reawaken the dragon's corpse and descend upon the forces Flick and Clarabelle had brought with them to fight the Red Wizards. Battle ensued in the Dreadring, and though Valindra and the dragon fought fiercely, Flick, Clarabelle and their allies were able to defeat her. But of course, it wasn't that simple.
After the death of Valindra, the Dreadring began to crumble, and it was a race against time for the girls and their allies to escape before it collapsed entirely from reality. Unable to save everyone, Flick and Clarabelle took the hands of Toby Stonehill and Callie Willowboot in the hopes of at least saving their closest friends. Flick reached out to the magic of the spell plague within, while Clarabelle began to sing, and let her voice join the chorus of the symphony. The girls used this new magic to transport themselves out of the Dreadring, and once more to Helm's Hold, the dwelling place of Priestess Rohini. However, as they arrived outside the gates, Clarabelle realized that the worst had occurred. Flick Goldkind had turned to stone. You've been listening to Best Left Forgotten. You can find and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Best Left Podcast and on our Best Left Forgotten Facebook page, where we post updates, info, and additional content. Music by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Full song list and additional artists can be found in the episode description. Cover art by Cattywampus, who can be found on Fiverr. Thanks to Jess Wolfendahl, our editor, Miriam Feats, our social media manager, and Nathan Quadrio, our GM and producer. If you enjoyed our podcast today, please leave a review and tell your friends.